What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got Floyd Mayweather in the news. Floyd Mayweather. Now, listen. I recently just heard a clip of an interview with Jim Gray. I think he was with Ocho or whatnot, and he was speaking on Floyd Mayweather. They were speaking on the state of where boxing is right now, and all these boxers, these up and coming boxers, and all this type of stuff. And this is what Jim Gray had to say.
Helped a lot. But the zero doesn't define you. How many games did the Philadelphia Eagles lose last year?
Right.
How many? I don't know. What was it, 4 or 5?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
2 or 3.
We can't even remember.
Right.
Okay? This isn't, boxing should not have been. Floyd ruined this sport. Floyd Mayweather ruined this sport. I don't mean that personally.
No, he didn't.
I love him personally, and I love his accomplishments and his achievements, and he was great to me. He was great to Showtime, and I'm friends with him to this day, and I admire and respect him. But he ruined the sport because the only thing that mattered was the zero.
Yes.
Okay, and so what did that do to all of these other fighters?
Everyone else worried about the zero.
But
Now, before I get into what he was saying about how Floyd ruined the sport, or give my opinion about that, I'm gonna start off by saying this right here, bro. This right here shows you the power that Floyd has in boxing. For anybody that would try to say that Floyd didn't have an impact on the sport of boxing, a lot of people, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of people. I've heard this so many times, are placing Floyd as the blame for ruining the sport of boxing. Now, if Floyd didn't have a big impact on boxing, there's no way one man. There's no way you can say Floyd didn't have an impact on boxing if they're saying this man ruined the entire sport. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into that real quick. Now, while a lot of people are saying that, majority of the people are just saying that because they hear the next person saying that. Me personally, bro, listen, I don't think that we could just place the blame on Floyd Mayweather for how things are going. You have to place the blame on each fighter individually for trying, because listen, Floyd, I'm gonna be honest with you, Floyd actually showed people how to market themselves or whatnot and what you have to do. But the thing about it is, people are taking what they want to take out of it and using it in the wrong direction. And I'm gonna go ahead and explain myself in this, right? At no point did Floyd Mayweather say, "Hey, you guys don't need to be fighting the top fighters. You guys should only fight fights that are gonna give you money." Floyd never told these fighters that, right? As a matter of fact, now except for Tank Davis. Now, if you want to put, the game plan, Floyd gave Tank Davis the game plan on what Money Mayweather would do or whatnot. Yeah, I'll give you that as far as Tank Davis goes. But as far as the whole sport of boxing, bro, you got to blame these fighters individually. Floyd Mayweather, a lot of people don't understand that Floyd Mayweather had to really fight dogs to get to where he was at this point in his career. Floyd Mayweather just didn't wake up and fight Oscar De La Hoya and start his career off by fighting Oscar De La Hoya and picking and choosing after that. Because I will admit, once Floyd Mayweather became Money Mayweather, yes, he started picking and choosing fights. Now, I'm gonna take it a step further though. Even the fighters that he was picking and choosing though, the majority of those fighters, bro, were legitimate threats to Floyd. So a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that as well. Like, we can take a step back and go to Floyd's resume and look at it itself. All right, so we're just gonna go off of Money Mayweather. So Money Mayweather was after Oscar De La Hoya, right? Still, Ricky Hatton, undefeated. That was a legitimate threat. Juan Manuel Marquez. Now, granted, I will say Juan Manuel Marquez did move up weight classes to fight Floyd. Well, they were supposed to fight at a catch weight of 146, or 145 or something like that. I think it was it might have even been 143. I don't remember, but I know Floyd Mayweather missed weight by 2 pounds on purpose. But Marquez was pound for pound number 2 or whatnot, right? He was ranked pound for pound number 2, similar to what Canelo did with Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford was ranked pound for pound number 2, and he moved up 2 weight classes fighter, whatever. So if you don't want to give him, if you don't want to consider Marquez as a legitimate threat, I'm not gonna be mad at you. But Shane Mosley had just, beaten Antonio Margarito. He was actually supposed to fight Manny Pacquiao, but then it came instead, decided to fight Shane Mosley because that fight didn't go through. But Victor Ortiz, young, hungry, just beat Andre Berto. Canelo, Miguel Cotto had the title at 154. Floyd moved up to 154 to fight Miguel Cotto. Canelo Alvarez, so I would say at Money May, Ricky Hatton, Victor Ortiz, Miguel Cotto, Canelo Alvarez, Marquez. Like, he still fought some. I mean, not Marquez, but Shane Mosley. He still fought some dangerous fighters. But the thing about it is, he was more focused on the finances of boxing at that point, right? Whoever brought the biggest check, which is why he fought Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton had a big UK following. Obviously, Marquez. When you're a Mexican star, you are set in boxing, because between Mexico and in the UK, they have the best fans in boxing. They're gonna support their people no matter what. So obviously Marquez, that's a no-brainer, right? He had the whole country behind him. Shane Mosley is a fighter who is a Hall of Famer already, legit, and went into the ring to call out Floyd. They had their little issues or whatnot. Victor Ortiz, a Mexican-American who had just beat Andre Berto. Miguel Cotto, Puerto Rico, stands behind Miguel Cotto. It's funny, I was just in Puerto Rico, and I was at this juice bar, and I had asked this girl, did she know who Miguel Cotto was? She was like maybe in her like early 20s, bro, right? So Cotto probably retired when she was like maybe not even a teenager, whatever. But anyways, and she was saying she even knew who like Cotto was. She was saying she's not even a boxing fan, but that's just how big Cotto is over there. Obviously, Canelo Alvarez, that's without a doubt. Marcos Maidana, that was another dangerous fight. But, even before that, you got Pretty Boy Floyd, right? Now, Pretty Boy Floyd fought all type of dangerous fighters. He fought all, everybody. Carlos Baldomir, Zab Judah, Sean Bay Mitchell, some might say he was old. Arturo got out, I ain't gonna put him on there. But DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley, Philip Endow, moved up to fight Jose Luis Castillo and then fought him twice. Diego Corrales, Emmanuel Augustus, Angel Manfredi, Gennaro Hernandez. Like, these are all top fighters that Pretty Boy Floyd fought. So the problem is, everybody wants to be like Money Mayweather, but they forget the Pretty Boy stage. I don't necessarily think we could just blame Floyd on that, because like I said, Floyd did his due diligence to get to the point to where he was at. Now, granted, yes, he did market himself off of having an O, right? But that was him. These fighters, it's up for these fighters to find their own way through how to maneuver themselves and how to carry themselves and how to market themselves in the sport of boxing. Do we blame Sugar Ray Leonard for picking and choosing and ducking fighters? Often we blame Floyd Mayweather for that, but nobody talks about when Sugar Ray Leonard was picking and choosing and ducking and dodging certain fighters. And that's no disrespect to Sugar Ray Leonard, but it's the truth that it is what it is. Sugar Ray Leonard didn't want to fight Aaron Pryor, Donald Curry, Milton McCory. He didn't want to fight these guys. He picked and chose certain guys too, but a lot of people don't want to talk about that. Everybody just wants to place blame on Floyd. So I don't think that's a fair thing to do when it comes down to saying that Floyd ruined the sport of boxing. No, each fighter is responsible for their career. What Floyd did, what just because it worked for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for another. And then also, to me, if I'm gonna keep it a buck, another thing that's ruining a sport that has absolutely nothing to do with Floyd is the fact that these fighters are very inactive. Bro, Floyd was active. Well, at one point Floyd was fighting once a year. I think when he came back and fought Shane Mosley. I think he fought Shane Mosley like May 2nd of 2010. Then came back and fought Victor Ortiz September of 2011, and then fought Cotto May of 2012. So at one point he was fighting once a year, but then he got back on to fighting twice a year. But the fact that the lack of fights from these fighters is what's ruining the sport. People want to, man, this is... If you haven't heard anything that I stated, make sure you listen to this right here. This is what has ruined the sport of boxing. And it's a domino effect, and I'm going to go ahead and lay it out for you. The fact that these fighters are inactive, right? So what happens, right? These fighters are only fighting once every 16 months, once every 12 months, right? So because they're so inactive, right? A loss is now more detrimental to their career, because they're not active. If they were fighting 2 or 3 times a year, a loss wouldn't be as impactful because, shoot, for example, you lose in January, you fight 2 more times. We're just trying to see what you have next. We're not, we acknowledge that you lost, but we're not even stuck on that loss anymore because you're active. So what goes on is, because these fighters are inactive, they're only fighting once a year, once every 16 months or whatever. A loss is more detrimental because now they have to hold that loss until the next time they fight, which pushes them all the way back, which causes them to want to pick and choose, because now I don't want to fight a dangerous fighter, because it's like, it ain't like, the NBA, they lose, but they lose on a Tuesday, they play Thursday and they good, and the way these fighters are fighting, bro, they lose May of 2025. We're not gonna see them again till 2026 sometime. So it's like a loss is much more detrimental to them because they have to, they're not as active, which causes them to pick and choose their fighters, which causes us to not get to see the best fight the best or whatnot, right? But to say that Floyd Mayweather ruined the sport, you can't put that on Floyd. That's these fighters, bro. If anything, Floyd Mayweather has done wonders for the sport. As a matter of fact, if you go look at the pay-per-view history, I'm not talking about just boxing, I'm talking about with boxing, UFC, MMA, wrestling, WWE, all of that, bro. You put all of that, out of the top 10 most viewed or most bought pay-per-views, Floyd is like on 6 of those. The first one was Mayweather Pacquiao, 4.6 million pay-per-view buys, I believe, and this is going all off the dome. Y'all can fact check me, but I know for a fact that he has majority. His name is on majority of that list. The second one is Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. I think it's like at 4.4 million pay-per-view buys. The third one I want to say is Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya at 2.5 million buys. The fourth one is like Conor McGregor versus Khabib. I can't think of the dude's last name. The one where they got to fighting after the fight. The fifth is Mayweather and Canelo. And then I believe like the sixth is like Conor McGregor versus somebody, and then you got Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield, and somewhere on there like 8 or 9 is like Mayweather versus Cotto or something like that. Like, Mayweather has done wonders for the sport, bro. He's done things that I disagree with for sure, but to say that Floyd ruined the sport, you can't do that. Floyd put in his work to do what he wanted to do, or to get to the point to where he was at. It's up for these fighters to build their own legacy. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?